Welcome to the call, everybody. We'd love to find out who you are and where you're from. If you wouldn't mind sharing that with us, we'd really appreciate it.
DeLon in Chattanooga.
All right, DeLon. Nice to have you here. Here we go. Welcome to the call. It's an honor to have you here. If you wouldn't mind identifying yourself and letting us know where you're from, that'd be awesome.
50.
New Zealand.
I don't know.
We got New Zealand in the house. Welcome.
We've got New Zealand in the house.
Say that again.
I don't know.
It's Matt Russell here from New Zealand.
All right, Matt. Good to have you here.
First to see the light of day.
All right. Welcome to the call. It's so good to have you here.
Huh?
Would you mind identifying yourself, letting us know who you are and where you're from?
Hi, my name is Michelle Rump, and I'm from Georgia.
Hi, Michelle. Welcome to the call. It's an honor to have you in the house today. Awesome.
Thank you so much.
You're
good
welcome.
to be here.
It's good to have you here.
Thank you.
If you wouldn't mind, after you introduce yourself, if you wouldn't mind muting your computer or your phone, that'd be great. Well, welcome to the call. I'm Coach Ken. I'm hosting the meeting tonight. It's an honor to have you here. Would you mind identifying yourself and telling us where you're from?
Michelle Lewisall from Bradenton, Florida.
Hey, Michelle. I've been up to Bradenton a lot of times. It's really nice up there.
Yep.
Is that the Richard Marks in the house? Well, Richard, if that's you, it's an honor to have you here. If it's the same Richard that I know from, I believe, New Zealand, it's good to have you here, Richard. Welcome to the call. Would you mind identifying yourself?
Royce McCoy, Houston, Texas.
Hey, Royce. It's good to have you here.
Thank you.
Welcome to the call, everybody. We've got almost 40 people. We're going to start in about a minute.
50,
We had over,
watch.
we had over 100 people this morning, and we might have a special guest. I just got a text message on that. Welcome to the call, everybody. If you wouldn't mind identifying yourself and letting us know who you are and where you're from, we would really appreciate it. All right. Welcome to the call. Love to know who you are and where you're from. Welcome to the call, everybody. All right, we're going to get started here in just a minute. All right, we are going to get started here. I would like to welcome everybody to our Sunday night webinar on November 4th. I am Coach Ken. I actually received that title because I actually used to own a mixed martial arts studio here in Naples, Florida, and my students gave me that title, and they still call me Coach Ken to this day. I'm going to mute everybody out at this point, and let's see if this will work. This is my first time actually doing the entire hosting myself. I hope we go off without a glitch. If we don't, we'll get it right. You'll find out that we will make mistakes here, but we'll learn from those mistakes and we'll get it right. And it's a great honor to have every one of you here on the call. I am, like I said, I'm Ken Chick. I live down in Naples, Florida, and they fondly refer to me as Coach Ken down here. Also was in the ministry for about 20 years. And about a little over a week ago, I got a call from a good friend of mine on 50/50. And at first, I was actually, he was on the call with two other friends as well. And when they brought this to me, I told them I don't do crowdfunding, and I thanked them for thinking of me. But I always kept an open mind. When I get calls on this, I've been in the industry for about 15 years. I've had a lot of success. And one of the things that I've learned, two things, is you don't burn a bridge and you keep an open mind. And if you keep an open mind, sooner or later, the right program will come to you. And that's what I did. Michael sent me some videos, and I watched the videos. And after watching the videos, it really gave me some great information on the founder of the company, who he was, and how long he's been in business. I am getting a ton of a text right now, so I'm gonna have to. One of them is about our guest. So let me just read this real quick. I'm so sorry, because we might be having the CEO come on. Yes. Okay. We have the founder of the company on with us tonight. And so we are going to be bringing him in a minute here. I would like to, actually, I'm probably going to bring him right up, because I don't know what his schedule's going to look like. And, but let me just share, when Michael called me on this, I wasn't a big fan of crowdfunding. I'd done one before. It never got off the ground. It left a bad taste in my mouth. And I decided I wasn't going to do it again. But when I saw that the owner, the CEO, David Rosen, who is the founder of our company here, he had founded another one in 2002, and that one's still open and it's still in existence. Now, I've known about crowdfunding, and I knew it was legal in the arena that we're working it in, but I'm going to let David explain that, because that's been an ongoing question. But I'm going to tell you what happened to me is when I saw this and I realized he had 670,000 members in the other company, and it was still in existence in 150 countries, I realized, you know what, this one could work. And I had to ask myself, why don't I believe in crowdfunding? GoFundMe does it. I just looked them up. Actually, I'll bring up that page in a little while, but GoFundMe is a legal crowdfunding where you can raise money for anything that you need. And me, I've got a dream to open up fitness and MMA studios, self-defense studios across the country, and put a church in every studio. That's been my dream for years. And I believe that's what I'm supposed to do. And now finally, I've been trying to fundraise with network marketing for the last 7, 8 years. And I haven't been able to do it. But now I found something that I believe I'll be able to open up the first gym and many gyms thereafter. The gym I had, we had great students, but we were underfunded. I'm never going to do it underfunded again. And I don't want to go give the company away to venture capitalists, because I won't be able to do what I believe I'm called to do. So I found something here, and I've had more donations come in, and it's so hard for me to get away from the old terminology, but I've made more money in my first week with 50/50 crowdfunding than I made with any of the ventures that I had, adventures I had gone with before in the MLM industry. So I'm very, very excited about that. With that, I'm going to bring on David Rosen, the founder, just came in the room a couple of minutes ago, and with no further ado, we're going to bring David in. David, are you here?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. I think you need to unblock my video, because I can't turn the video on.
Okay, let's see if I can do that. All right, let me see if I can do that. I don't know if I have control on this end. If I, okay, here we go, right here. I don't see how I can do that here. But let me give Michael a call while you're sharing, and we're going to see if we can get your video up. Because I'm not seeing how to do that here.
It's always a lot of fun when you're learning a new technology. I do the same thing every time.
This is my first time as the host, and I could put my video on, but I didn't think I turned off any video, and I'm looking, and it's not allowing me to change that for you. From what I understood, it was always on the other side, like on your side, but you probably know this more than I do.
Actually, I don't, but I'll take a look.
Okay, what it is, there's a little camera. If you go to the controls, there's a little camera with a line through it. You hit that camera and your video will come up.
Yeah, I've hit that a few times, but it's not allowing the video to come on.
Okay, I'm going to make you co-host, and let's see what happens.
That'll probably do it.
Go ahead and do it. Try it now, brother.
Yeah,
there
now
you are.
There you go.
Right.
Now I'm the co-host with the. You're the host with the most, and I'm the co-host with not the most.
Bro, you look like you just came off of GQ magazine. What are you talking about?
Hey, listen. Well, I'm glad that you were able to get me on here. Now, I'm not going to tell the whole story because you guys have been doing a way better job of telling the 50-50 story than I am able to do. But I will share with people, what we have been doing since 2002, and that is helping people around the world in over 150 countries. And, that is the part that gives us the most joy. And, so many people that are in the system right now, they've never experienced a situation in which so many people are benefiting. And that's the beauty of the team crowdfunding system that we've set up here. We give, we share, and we receive. And, if you're willing to do those three things, then whatever that cause is that you want to get funded, whether it's helping your church, whether it's, paying, raising funds to send your child to school, maybe it's paying off your mortgage, maybe it's helping your community, whatever it is that you need to raise funds for. Maybe it's even personal reasons, because there's so many of us that are in debt, and crowdfunding is an opportunity, when done right, to be able to get yourself out of debt. And that's just such an awesome thing that's been happening since 2002. And as you know, we enhanced the original version, and now you receive 50% off of all of the donations that come in from the people that you've invited and the people that land in your wheelhouse. And that is the first time ever. And that is why so many people are experiencing such huge success. And, it just boggles my mind, the amount of people, the amount of lives that we've touched in basically 1 month, because here we are, we're on November 4th right now, and it was October 4th when we really kicked this off, and it took a week before it really started to gel. But since October 4th, we've helped thousands and thousands of people around the world. We're going to continue to help thousands and thousands of people around the world. As a matter of fact, I believe that by spring we'll probably help 1 million people worldwide achieve their fundraising goals with 50-50, because this system is so much better than our original system. And one of my mottos when creating a system is, I always look in the mirror and I say, David, you need to build something that people will use and share. And if you build something that people will use and share, they'll use and share it. And people are using and sharing this like nothing before.
They are. I've never seen anything like this, brother. I've never seen such excitement and growth. I've been in the industry for 15 years. A lot of times it takes a long time to build momentum. I've never seen momentum build this quickly.
Yeah,
I have gotten texts from some people that are asking some questions. I don't know if this will be the opportunity, but one of the things that they're asking is the legality of it. How is it legal? And my response today to one, it's actually one person's been asking several questions over and over again. And I said, hey, if you're in 150 countries with 670,000 reps, I mean, I think makes a loud statement with no arrests. That's a loud statement.
Yeah, that's a very loud statement. But a louder statement is, we've only got 670,000 people that have participated in our system. But if you look up crowdfunding, whenever you want to find out the answer to something, I always ask Mr. Google, right? Because Mr. Google always gives you the right answer. And then if you want to know what something is, you can always ask the dictionary as well. And the dictionary is another good example of giving you the definition of what something is. And crowdfunding has been going on in its current form since about 2007. And since that period of time, we're talking about tens of millions of people around the world raising hundreds of billions of dollars. And when you think of crowdfunding, you go online and look it up, right? When you think of crowdfunding, politicians have used crowdfunding to raise funds for their campaign. Cryptocurrencies have raised funds for their campaigns, such as Ethereum. Ethereum's raised close to $1 billion using crowdfunding. Barack Obama used crowdfunding to raise funds. Countries now are turning to crowdfunding to raise funds because times have changed. And when times change, then you need to find different methods to be able to take care of society, whether it is from your own individual needs to the greater needs of a country. And, India, just a couple of weeks ago, when they had that natural disaster, India is now using crowdfunding to help to fund that natural disaster. And the reason why governments are now turning to crowdfunding is because so many people are losing their jobs. And because so many people are losing their jobs, there's not as much money coming in from taxes. So governments need to find different ways to take care of their citizens, and crowdfunding is one of those ways. And I know for a fact that crowdfunding is here to stay, and I know for a fact that within the next 5 years, that each of us that are on this line right now, and people from around the world, including governments, including people that are hiring people, including all walks of life, are going to be using crowdfunding in one way, shape, or form, because people need to have the funding to be able to pay for their things. And they're saying that by 2025, technology is going to take away over 800 million jobs. So if technology is going to take away over 800 million jobs, and the government can't afford to take care of us because they aren't getting the same amount of tax money that is coming in, and big businesses, they're going to keep creating products. If 800 million people can't afford to buy them, then we have to find other ways to make ends meet. And crowdfunding is a perfect way to be able to do that, because you can raise funds for virtually anything, whether you are a business, whether you are a not-for-profit, or whether you are an individual. You can raise funds from anybody, anywhere in the world, in any amount. And crowdfunding is really a blessing. Right now, it's a blessing in disguise, but soon it'll start to manifest itself and start appearing in virtually everything that we do in our lives.
Well, the GoFundMe page is something that has been around for several years now, and I went to Google, the dictionary, and all of that. The other day, though, when we were on, and that's what I recommended this person do as well, do their own due diligence. But when we were on the call the other day, about a week ago, you had mentioned the Obama administration had made an amendment to the law, and how that doesn't affect us as individuals, but it does affect the corporate world. Can you explain that?
Yeah, for sure. And as I said a few moments ago, that crowdfunding is going to manifest itself in all areas of our lives. And what President Obama did is because crowdfunding was starting to become the wild, wild west for the business sector, the same way when NASDAQ first came out, it was a wild, wild west. I don't know if you remember when NASDAQ first came out, like people were setting up their own IPOs, and it was like the wild, wild west. So what President Obama did is he looked at what was going on with crowdfunding and how difficult it was for businesses to raise funds. Because if you were looking for $100,000 or $500,000 or $50,000, there wasn't a venture capitalist around that would look at you. And it was very difficult for those businesses to raise funds. So what Obama did is he passed into law the ability for businesses to raise funds through equity crowdfunding. And what equity crowdfunding has now allowed people to do is, if you have a big idea and you need to get that big idea funded, you can now give shares to people who are investing into that business. Because for the vast majority of crowdfunding, you know, if you break your leg, you're not going to get a share of breaking your leg, of repairing somebody's leg. But what President Obama did is he passed the equity crowdfunding laws, and the rest of the world has followed suit. So it's a really awesome opportunity for people with a big idea to get their big idea funded. And another type of crowdfunding that does have, and there are certain regulations with that, and there's another crowdfunding that has a certain amount of regulations, and that's real estate crowdfunding. So those are two areas in crowdfunding that are regulated, but it's not stringently regulated, but you do need to get the proper documentation. The way that 99.9999999% of us are raising the funds is, you know, we're going to friends and family. We're saying, okay, we want to raise funds for A, B, or C, and we can do that as often with as many people as we want.
And you know, the beautiful thing is with this, as opposed to GoFundMe takes a portion of every donation. With this, 100% of the donations go back into our hands as affiliates, as those of us that are in the field. So the other thing is with GoFundMe, it's for you only. When you set up a GoFundMe page, it's for you only.
Correct.
Here, everyone that you personally introduce can open up, quote, donation centers themselves with others that they invite. So if they invite, what I see here, you invite 20 people, you've got 20 donation centers. And as I was explaining on the call the other day, the reason why Goodwill's so successful is they have donation centers all over the country. Well,
and the same as the church.
Pardon me?
And the same as the church.
Yeah. Well, right. The beautiful thing here is everyone you personally introduce becomes a donation center for you, and you help them open up donation centers by introducing others. And this thing can really, really provide you the incomes for the dreams that have been buried for so long. We all have dreams, and those dreams are getting ready to be resurrected with this program.
Absolutely. You know what? You touched on a couple of points there. GoFundMe is probably the most recognized name in crowdfunding. They've been doing an awesome job in helping small businesses, in helping people that are in need, you know, to mend a broken leg or bury a loved one. They've been doing an excellent job. It just so happens that the way we do it is more helpful to the people that are looking to raise funds for that cause, because we make it a lot easier for a person to make a decision to want to donate to your cause. Because unlike GoFundMe, you know, one person gets all of the funds. And, you know, as we've known since the history of man, it is better to give than to receive. However, most everybody that we know is in need right now. So by doing it the way we're doing it, we're working in a cooperative, the same way Uber works in a cooperative. You know, Uber came up with a platform to allow people to use their car to create an income no matter where they live in the world, to help them to pay their bills. You look at Airbnb. Airbnb is a cooperative, and they've allowed people to use a spare room in a cooperative manner to, you know, create an income for themselves. What we've done is we've taken the idea of a cooperative and the idea of crowdfunding, and we've married the two together, so that it means that when I come to you and I say, hey, listen, I'm raising $42,000 because I want to send my daughter to school, and I say, Kenny, is there something that you need to raise funds for? And you say yes, I say I can help you. So your resistance is zero, because we're all helping one another. So we just do things in a way in which we help each other benefit from one another. and we all have the opportunity to raise the funds that we want or need for any of the causes that we have.
Well, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. We got somebody on the phone, Bill Davey, from another Floridian here from Fort Myers, and I think Bill wants to share something. Bill, you've got the floor, my friend.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Hey, Bill.
Hey, there's not much that gets me away from the Packer game.
I got a plane over there.
Yeah, I know. I got my 3 TVs going, and but you know, this is important, and it's happened the last couple Sundays. But anyways, David, you've been such a big help for all of us that we're just getting started going with this, and we know it's going to be going for a long time. But David, I just want to stress that, you know, as you told me when we first started chatting, we are not in the direct sales business. We're not a network marketing company.
No.
And I know some of the people that, you know, we're bringing into this are, you know, they come from that industry. But can you just share that, you know, we're not regulated by that. We're not we're not that type of company. We're in the crowdfunding space, and we're social sharing. Could you just expand on that? Because I want to kind of help everybody realize that, and the terminology that we receive and not earn, and things like that. Just could you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. And you know, many of the people that are joining us are in, you know, actually it doesn't matter whether it's many of the people that are joining us. We are all, by human nature, people that share things with one another. We share a great movie with you know, we tell friends about a great movie. And when we tell our friends about a great movie, it doesn't make us a network marketer. It just makes us a conveyor of great information. And essentially that's what we're doing here. We're not regulated by the network marketing industry. All we're doing is sharing a great idea with our friends to try and help each other come to benefit for the things that we need to, you know, that we need to raise funds for. And it's the same as any crowdfunding system. It doesn't matter whether it's GoFundMe or whether it's 50/50 or whether it's Indiegogo. You know, we're in all those systems. We need to communicate with the people that are our friends to raise funds. We do the exact same thing. The only difference between GoFundMe, well, there's a whole bunch of differences, but one of the primary differences between GoFundMe and us is that instead of taking that donation and I get the whole donation, we split it in 2 to help, you know, another friend who's in need get to their goals.
Yeah, and then the other thing is, because we have, you know, 5 receiving centers, or 5 levels of receiving centers. Could you just expand on that? You know, obviously, you know, people just get in where they fit in, yeah, but the benefits of, you know, obviously, you know, opening up, you know, more receiving centers and just sharing with them, you know, the opportunity that we have to go from, you know, 6 receiving centers if you just start out on the 250 to, you know, 30 receiving centers if you're on, you know, if you open up all the receiving centers.
Well, there's only 5. There's really 6 different receiving centers. Is that, you see, and the receiving centers that we've set up, that's only to help us to sort of, you know, organize the act of making a donation to one another. Now, a person can give a donation of any amount that they want, if that's what they choose to do. A person can make a one-time donation of $1 if they want, or a one-time donation because of a serious need of $100,000 if they want. We have these receiving centers, these wheelhouses, because it helps to keep things organized. You know, the same way Coca-Cola, when they put all of those cans in a box, you know, they put them in a box of 6, or they put them in a box of 18, or they put them in a box of 24, just because it's easier to manage that way. And that's the same way that we have, the same reason why we have a number of receiving centers. It's just to sort of help us to get to our goals in an organized way and in a quicker way, if you want to go on to all of the levels, and like I say, do it in an organized way.
Great. Well, and then we had I'm just amazed at how many people have been joining. I know we have, you know, in your other system, over 650,000, and you on one of our calls you expanded that. You haven't even got a chance to share with them about the new system. Yeah, is there a reason why? I know you enhanced this system, but is there a reason why you chose to run with this one or launch this one? And when you did, I guess that's some of what people are asking.
Yeah, and no, it was. It didn't happen on purpose. I was working on something else, and somebody called me up and they said, "Hey, listen, David, I set up this system for my friends to try and help them to, achieve their financial goals, but it doesn't seem to be working very well. Is there something that you have that I might be able to share with my friends?" So I said, "Yes, I've got 50/50. It's just sitting there doing nothing right now while I'm working." So when I told the person that, we've got 50/50 sitting there, all of a sudden I hear silence on the phone, right? I thought maybe we got disconnected or something, right? But he was just amazed at the system that was just sitting there. And his first question to me is, why is it just sitting there? And I said, well, it's just because I created it. I just haven't had a chance to start working it yet. He says, well, let me take it to a couple of my friends. And that was on October 4th. And here we are November 4th, and now we've already helped thousands and thousands of people. So it wasn't because the system didn't work. It's just that I was busy. And the same reason now, with that I haven't spoken to or sent out an email. Of those 670,000 people, I've come to discover, by scraping the emails, there's about 225,000 of those emails are still active emails. So there's 225,000 people that are waiting to hear from me. And as soon as I get a chance to put something together and send it out to them, I'm going to send it out to them because they need and deserve what we're offering here.
That's awesome. And then my last question for you is that I know obviously you see everything that's happening. Could you just update the field where we're kind of where we're at? Some of this, you blew us away early on when we only had 500 people. And then we did an update call when we had 1,500 people, which was, I think, like 3 days later, and so on. Is there any updates you can just share with everybody? Let everybody know how things are working.
Yeah, for sure. And this is it's kind of funny, right? Now, I'm glad that you asked that question because it's kind of funny. People always try to make comparisons when something new comes out. People always try to make comparisons and say, well, it's the same as this, and somebody at the top's the one that's making all the money, and it's the same as this, and it's going to be another one of these failed things. It's going to be another one of these. Well, we are nothing like anything ever before. And when you think of franchising, when you think of home-based businesses, when you think of the many things that people have done to try and move that financial needle forward, most people are not moving that financial needle forward. Most people fail, and it's because it's just very difficult with a lot of those other things in this system. And this is going to blow people's mind. In this system, we have almost 70% of the people that have joined this system are benefiting already. And they're going to continue to benefit as they continue to share 50/50 and as we continue to grow. And that's unheard of in anything. If you took AT&T, for example, and you think of all the tens of thousands of people that they hired to sell their services, if they had a 70% success rate with the people that they hired to sell those services, they'd be doing backflips. We've got almost a 70% success rate in spite of people's efforts, because we only have about a 33% of the people that have started to duplicate yet. So the system is just totally awesome. It's helping everybody. And for those of you that go online, because we've already got our haters. We started getting our haters after about the first week, which I figured it would take about a month, but because things took off so well, we've already got our haters after the first week. And for those people that see that, all they have to do is just speak to somebody who's in 50/50 and ask them how they're doing. And that'll give them, that'll tell them about the results that they need to hear, because, I can say almost anything I want. You can say anything you want, but it's the results that people are getting that carry the most weight. And by the way, all of you that are online with us right now, if you haven't said something in your cell phone, you know, you get your cell phone, you turn it on, you put that camera on, you smile into it. Hi, my name is. Give us one of those testimonies to tell us how well you're doing, or tell us exactly what it is that's helping you to understand what 50/50 is all about. And the reason that we need to do that is for you. Because when people understand the successes that you are experiencing, and when the overall 50/50 organization, when they start to understand how successful you are, it helps everybody. And when you help everybody, it helps you. And by the way, speaking about helping people, as you know, I can talk forever, right? But by the way, speaking about everybody, the other day I was talking to William, and William is really, really awesome. And I'm going to use this example because we all need this example. William calls me up. He said, David, I got this guy. He's calling me. He's like 5 generations below me. You know, he's a nice guy, and I want to help him because that's what I do. But he's 5 generations below me. And I said, well, you know what, William, you're doing exactly what we need to do, because that person that is 5 generations below you is going to cause something to happen to the person who is 4 generations below you, which is going to cause something to happen to the person that is 3 generations below you, and going to cause something to happen to the person that is 2 generations below you, and ultimately it's going to help you. You see, even though this is a 2x2, the way this super technology, the Mobius loop works, help everybody regardless of where they are in your generational system, because at some point in time, somebody as far as 15 generations below you can have a positive impact on your fundraising capabilities.
Awesome. I've got a question for you. I have got a guy in China. This is a side note because I have another question. He's wanting to know if we can get a QR way to receive payments in the back office. He's said China, the Chinese used a QR.
Yeah, I know. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you noticed it, but we've got WeChat and Alipay for a way for people to pay, and that's for Chinese, for the people of China and the rest of Asia.
Okay,
so
great.
They can actually pay that 29 using their Alipay or their UnionPay card.
Okay.
Now that doesn't do anything for the donations, because the donations are something different, right?
Right. That's what he was asking about.
Yeah, over the course of the next 3 or 4 days, you'll see something in your back office that'll help most of us, especially with our international transfers. I'm going to put a link back there that'll help most of us, and I believe that China is one of the countries that will be able to send donations back and forth using what I'm putting in the back office there. So, because I believe I believe we can send donations back and forth to about 160 countries or something like that. Awesome.
The question I had, though, I was with another company. I was making a tremendous amount of money. The rug was pulled out from underneath me. I don't want to go into too many details about the other company, but I was paying myself 6 digits a month, over 6 digits. And the rug was pulled out from underneath me, not because of something the company did, but a handful of distributors were going online and showing their back offices and in the industry. And I don't know if maybe that doesn't count for us because we're not in the MLM industry, but in the MLM industry, you're not allowed to entice people. And I went on YouTube 2 days ago, and there's video after video. I made 11,000 in one day, made 5,000 in one day. And that's exactly what these guys were doing. And, there were cease and desist orders that came in, company pulled out of the US and Canada. And overnight, I lost an incredible income. And it was the income. It wasn't what, it looked like on paper. It was an income. And I'm a little bit sensitive towards that. When I saw the guys doing it, I knew immediately. I said, you're going to get us shut down. And it was one of the guys that I saw, and I knew him. He's a big marketer. And I'm like, you idiot, you're going to get us shut down. The FBI raided his house. I don't want to see that here. And I was wondering.
First of all, something like that won't happen here because we're a different animal than the animal that you were speaking of. So it
Right.
won't happen here. However, we are going to crack down because as you know, like, I mean, we came out of the blocks and this wasn't something that we were expecting.
It's really
And,
unbelievable.
I was amazed. I went on the YouTube and I think I had to scroll for 8 minutes to find all of the 50-50 videos that are out there. So we are going to crack down on a few things. There's some people have taken some of my videos and they're using them for their to promote 50-50. They've taken some of the Kevin Harrington videos. They're using his videos to promote the 50-50, and that's against the rules and regulations as per the terms and conditions that we have. Even using the 50-50 logo is against the terms and conditions of our crowdfunding system. So we are cracking down on that. And yeah, listen, it's not it's the person who is saying that, that they received $11,000 in 24 hours, or the person that says that they received $50,000 in the first 5 days. Those are not the people that are being helpful to our community.
Right.
The people that are being helpful to our community are saying, hey, listen, William, it's David here. I registered in co-op in 50-50 crowdfunding because I'm looking to help, my daughter go through college. Is there something that I can help you with? And then you joining and registering, and you give, you share, you receive, and you experience results. That's the things that really make this system work. It's not that, the boasting actually turns most people off, because for the most part, help me, right? Because, I'm the first person to put up my hand and ask for help, right? If I need help, I'm going to put up my hand. So help me, but you don't need to brag about it because, who cares? Just help me.
Right. So you're saying that some of the rules that apply to the MLM industry is not going to apply over here, and that.
No.
Okay, great. That's
no,
awesome.
but no, they're not. But that doesn't mean that we're going to allow certain things to happen, right?
Well, I would like to protect the.
Yeah, for sure.
The business.
And it's not because we're going to get shut down. It's because it doesn't help with the integrity part of what we're doing.
Right.
And
exactly.
everything that we were doing, it's all about helping other people. It's not about proving that we're great.
Well, it's about it's how their style of recruiting, and I just don't want the entire.
It's funny. Speaking about style, because we don't do any recruiting either. But speaking about recruiting, we've had so many people that have joined us in the last little while. And the exact same thing happened, by the way, in the first system. All these so-called heavy hitters, right? They made $5 million in company A, or they made $3 million in company B, and they think that they've got to do the exact same thing over here with what we're doing. So while they're getting organized and they're putting together videos and they're putting together capture pages and lead pages and systems, and they're doing all of these things, this person who's never experienced any success in anything in their lives, they go out and they start doing exactly what we're supposed to do: give, share, and receive. And the next thing they're getting their projects funded, and this person who thinks that they know what they're doing, they're putting all this work in there, they're scratching their head trying to figure out, well, what do I need to do next? And it's only when they start to understand that this is not one of those traditional businesses. All you have to do is just, go back and build those relationships, because what we're doing is about relationships. It's not about going out and finding, 10,000 leads and buying leads from a lead broker and putting them into a funnel and sending them out to all of the people that you don't know because you're afraid of going to the people you care about because you already hurt them 3 or 4 times. Yeah. In 50-50, you need to go to the people that you care about. You need to go to your friends. You need to go to that person that pours the coffee. This system flat out works. Let them watch the video. Let them understand that we give, we share, and we receive. And if they're willing to be a team player, if they're willing to give, share, and receive, they will give, share, and receive. It's really that simple. So we need to really dummy this up for people and say, listen, tell people to watch the movie. And if they don't get it after the first time they watch the movie, tell them to watch it again.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome, David. Because tonight, I see in the chat line some people are saying that this is supposed to be a presentation. Well, we were honored to have you on tonight, and it was just our opportunity to ask some questions, because we as leaders get these questions all the time, and it's always so much more powerful to have it
And you know the real cool thing about what's happening.
We appreciate that.
Yeah, and you know what the really cool thing is that it's not your normal presentation, and 50-50 is never your normal presentation anyways, right? And the people that are listening to this call right now, if they aren't getting what we are doing here, and they need to see little pictures and stuff like that, then they aren't ever going to get it, because what we're talking about here on this, this interaction right now is really what people need to understand, that 50-50 it's not a business, it's not a network marketing thing. It's about people, community, helping other communities. And we've got a video that's going to come out in the next little while, and the person that did the writing on that, they did so many awesome things. They talked about how other communities around the world have come together for centuries, and they'll get like 10 or 15 people together, and they'll each contribute to that pot, and every so often those people get those funds. We're really doing that. We're working within the community to help the community. And when people understand that we aren't doing this from a business perspective, because think about it, I created the system, but 100% of all the donations that come in are going back out to you, right? I'm not taking 1%. The business isn't taking 1%. We aren't taking anything. So this truly is a community system built for the teammates. So when people understand that, they'll say, well, this might be the best presentation ever.
Yeah. And the one thing I would like you to address, because I know you've helped me several times when people have come to me, but you told me, I think on a call, that like 96% or almost 97% of people are actually making the payments. Some people have went to the point where I don't know what happened. Maybe they haven't made payments and stuff like that. And I know you have a built-in system, but you haven't even turned it on because you haven't needed to. But could you just address that so people aren't concerned about that?
Yeah, again, it's a community, right? So because we're experiencing such awesome success, and it's the same thing that happened for 16 years. So what's going on isn't a new phenomena. It's what's been going on since I created the system. Is that nobody wants to get thrown out. So everyone's being an honorable individual, because if you're not honorable, you'll get turfed out of the community. Think about it where you live. If you got a block, and on that block, each week everyone's got to take turns shoveling the leaves, and for several rounds, somebody on that block says, I'm not going to shovel the leaves. You're going to throw that person off the block. Right? So it's the same thing here. It's a community. So like I say, people love what we're doing here, and no one wants to forsake this opportunity just because they're trying to game the system. You can't game the system, because the participants are the ones that police everything that's going on. They won't allow it to happen.
Yeah. And all we have to do is we send something into customer support, or in most cases what we've done is gone back to the sponsor of that person, and sometimes it's just that person was busy, or there's been some issues. Maybe they were in the hospital. Whatever happens. It's not like people aren't really trying to pay, but we do have a solution for that if there is a problem. So
100%. We've been doing this for 16 years, so we have to find a solution, right?
Right.
Here's something else that I can tell you is that of the thousands and thousands of people that have joined us since October 4th, I think we've only had to suspend about 8 people.
That's amazing, and even some of them, I think even after the suspension, they ended up finding out they were suspended, and they came back and they paid. And you were able to let them in.
Yeah, it happened twice today.
Yeah, so that's great. Anything as far as you're concerned that you get updated daily and stuff like that, but we as leaders in the field, is there anything we can do to help Continue, obviously we keep continuing to share, but is there anything that you see that we can do? I know you have a marketing system coming out. I know a lot of us are using our own, systems until you get yours released for everybody, which is going to be great. But is there anything that you suggest we do that we can help, keep this thing going like you planned?
No, you guys are doing what you need to do, right? Like there's nothing to this, right? Like, I mean, like I said, we give, we share, we receive. And I don't even really like to call it a marketing system. It is a marketing system, but here's what we want to ultimately have happen. And this is the way the first system was set up, is that you get it to a point where everything is automated, right? Like, we don't need to spend 15 minutes telling our friends about the system. We will have a movie that does that. We don't, so we want to set up the system so that as concerned individuals of our community, and by the way, you can share this anywhere in the world. So as concerned individuals for our community of friends, we don't want you spending your time explaining the system. And more importantly, we don't want you explaining the system because we don't want people taking liberties with the good things that are part of 50-50. And when I say taking liberties, it's like people sharing the fact that they received $11,000 in 24 hours, or saying that, let me help you, I'll do this for you, I'll do this for you. We don't want people to do any of those things. We want people to share the system and benefit from the system. So we're going to totally automate everything. And what you're going to find that once this comes out, we're going to tell people if it's not on the site and it's not in this system that's going to help people understand exactly what we're doing, then don't believe it. Even if it's coming out of my lips, right? Let the system do everything. We're going to get to the point where you do the connecting and we'll do, you do the inviting, we'll do the igniting.
That's awesome. And then the one thing that keeps coming up is a lot of people, again, because they're used to that network marketing aspect and they're trying to figure out a way to maximize it. Can you just share, how taking multiple positions, for a family or a household is not wise, and how you're going to end up actually hurting yourself and more, moreover your teammates.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. You watch these big network marketers, they're struggling with the system, right? Because they think they've got to do all these fancy things. And, we've seen similar systems, it's like, it's a 2x2, right? You got 2 people on your first level and 4 people on your second. There's thousands of 2x2s out there. But they don't work the same way ours work. There's no boards, there's no splits. This is really, truly a community system, right? So because of the fact that there's no boards and there's no splits, if you take more than one position, then you're spreading yourself thin and you're actually creating way more work for yourself, and you're going to receive far less donations. And then you're also, you're separating, it's like you're separating your good people from one another. So I tell these people, listen, don't stack, don't give people away, and don't take more than one position, because you only need one, because everything flows back in under that one. And if you've got a brother, you've got a sister, you want to help your mom, don't give them a position and then put people under them, because again, that just makes you work harder. You receive less in donations. If you want to give to your church, if you want to give to your mom, if you want to give to your brother, if you want to give to your friend, then do so with the donations that you're receiving. Say, okay, I'm going to take 10% and I'm going to give it to my church. I'm going to take 10% and I'm going to give it to my mom. I'm going to take 10% and I'm going to give it to my wife. That's the way to help a person in 50-50. Because if they're not a team player, they're actually hurting you. So never take more than one position. And think about it. Here I am. I'm the guy that created this system. When was the last time you heard a company creator or a company owner say, no, don't take more than one position, just take one?
No, it's unbelievable, because again, the only thing the company is getting is the $29 every 6 months. So basically, every position that you have, it's $5 a month.
Right.
And it's just unbelievable. Obviously, you would tell us to do otherwise if you thought it would benefit you, but
Oh, it would benefit. No, it would benefit me, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. But I'm saying you're telling us, not to do it. So that's what.
Really, this truly is a system for us. Like, think about it. I could have very easily set this system up to make it work exactly the same way it is right now, and carved out 1% or 2% or 3%, and that would have been 10 times less than what other systems charge, and no one would have been upset by it, right? And we've donated millions of dollars already, right, between one another. So if I was thinking of me, I would have carved 1% for myself, or 2% for myself, or 3% for myself. No, I'm not. This is for us, right? This is for that person that's struggling right now, that is trying, working 3 jobs, has 2 roommates because they can't afford to pay their rent. Listen, use this system to help you with that. This is for the person that's getting ready to lose their home. Use this system to get yourself out of that. This is for the person that's got, $60,000 in student loans. And they don't know where they're going to come up with that $60,000 to pay for their student loans. Use this system. It's built for you. So, we got to get people to stop that stinking thinking, right? And just look at it for what it is. It's God gave me the gift to create this, and I just passed on what he gave to me. Right? This isn't for me. This is for you.
No, that's awesome. We're all blessed, and we appreciate everything that you've done. You've been very open to helping us out whenever we need it. And I know I have Kenny Williams is on, Francis is on, Rick Ricketts is on. Some of the other major leaders who have helped put all this stuff together. So
you're doing great too.
I don't know if any of them are unmuted. If they want to chime in, I don't want to steal the stage, but I just appreciate you taking the time and jumping on here. If anybody has questions that may be unmuted, please feel free to go ahead.
I'm going to try to unmute them right now, Bill. I've been going through. I think I unmuted Francis. She's back muted again. I'm going to go through it. I did want to say, for the people that came on and were looking for a presentation, we do presentations every day at 3 and 7 p.m. This is
3 and 9 p.m.
What did I say?
7. Yeah.
3 and 9. I'm so sorry. 3 and 9 p.m. But this is like taking a deep breath right here. Having an opportunity to listen to the owner and CEO, it's a great honor to do that. So
by the way, I'm also the floor sweeper.
I'm sorry?
I say I'm also the floor sweeper.
He's got a lot of hats.
All right, so we're going to go down. Kenny, I'm going to take you off. I just came across yours. Let's see if that'll work. There we go.
Howdy.
Williams, you are unmuted.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And hey, David, thank you. Also, we appreciate your time whenever we can get you on one of these calls here. But hey, guys, I've had a beautiful day today. A lot of donations came in before actually 9 o'clock this morning. And oh my God, just so many 3-way calls we've been doing here. Even Frances, I mean, she's been sick all day, just about, I think 18-hour days are kind of killing her a little bit. But she's been a good trooper throughout the whole ordeal. But, man, we're excited, guys. We just hit another milestone. I know we can't talk incomes here, but things are happening real quick with me and my team, Randy and Kevin and Rick. Just excited to be here, guys. Bill, how you doing?
And you just mentioned something there. You said income, right? Now, most people think that crowdfunding is all donations, right? And for the most part, it is donations. However, we're doing crowdfunding a little different than a church would use, than a church does crowdfunding. We're doing crowdfunding a little different than the person that broke their leg and is looking for $15,000 to mend that broken leg. Most of us are using 50-50 crowdfunding system because because we're looking to get out of debt. Or
right.
Because we're looking to pay off our student loan, or because we're looking to pay off our mortgage, or because we're looking to get our big idea funded. And when you're raising funds for those purposes, it's not a donation, and it would be considered an income. So, you may want to make sure that you're keeping track of all the donations, and you know,
We
speak
are.
to your lawyer, speak to your accountant, probably your accountant, not so much your lawyer, but speak to your accountant and find out how that fits in for your jurisdiction, because you may have some tax consequences, and if you do, pay your taxes, because you know, without taxes, there's a lot of things that we don't have. Like, we don't have police services, we don't have emergency services. Here in Canada, we've got, you know, universal health care, we've got roads that don't have potholes in them, we've got a clean city. If we're not paying our taxes, we don't have those things. So find out what if any tax consequences you may have. And the other thing that you want to do, if, you know, once you get to a certain level in income, you might be wise to incorporate. So that's something else to speak to your accountant about, and find out what those levels are and what's best for yourself. But, you know, make sure that you speak to your accountant and find out where you fit in.
Absolutely. Hey, can I ask you numbers, David? Updates? Where we're at? How many donations and all that good stuff? I've got some new people on the phone, some good builders on there tonight.
Yeah, it's a lot, and if you recall, when I was on the call last week, I said I'm probably going to stop talking about the numbers. It's not because I'm not proud of the numbers. I'm extremely proud of the numbers. When we reach certain milestones, and I'll ring that bell and say we've reached certain milestones. But here's the thing that I want people to really understand about this system. It doesn't matter whether you got involved yesterday. It doesn't matter whether you get involved today, and it doesn't matter whether you get involved tomorrow. You have the exact same opportunity as everybody else. You know, we have several, like, I'm the first person in the system, but I'm not the top person, right? There's several people that just zoomed right past me as far as the donations that they've received, right? Because the system, that's the way the system is. The effort that you put into the system is the donations that you're going to get out of the system. That's why you hear that some of us are working 18 hours a day. Some are working 3 minutes a day, because that's all the time that they have. So, you know, wherever you are in your thinking right now, the last thing that you want to be thinking, the last couple of things that you want to be thinking, oh, it's too late. It's not. There's 7 billion people on this planet. We will never reach a saturation point with this system the way it is set up. It's give, share, and receive. You know, and it doesn't matter how many people it is. And don't say, well, I don't know anybody. Think about this. Think about one person. You know, who's the first person that you want to help? Maybe it's your aunt. Maybe it's your friend. Maybe your best friend is struggling to pay off their student loans. Think of one person. And when you get one, think of one more, right? So it's not a race. You go at your own pace. You get in where you fit in, and you just live and have fun with the system, and go, you know, do the system the way it suits you. Don't do the system the way it suits Kenny, or the way it suits Francis, or the way it suits Joe. Do it the way it suits you. That makes you comfortable, because this is built for everybody who wants to give, share, and receive to succeed.
Thank you.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I know if somebody can go ahead and look and see if Rick Ricketts is on. I know Rick wanted to mention something, if you could unmute him. But while we're doing that, David, could you just let us know, some of the people were asking why the donations sent was taken off the dashboard, and I have answered, you know, for what you told me the last time for my team, but just let people know that you're going to have it available in there so people can keep track of that.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you want to keep track of what's going on. We're just going to put it in a different position. So it'll be in where you click donations sent, and it'll be there instead of on your dashboard. People always like to look at that one number, right?
Another quick question too on that, yes, is you had mentioned about opening up a corporation or an LLC, but when you go to the profile, you cannot change that from. I tried changing it to my LLC. I couldn't do it.
You can. You know, one of the beauties about having a technology company is that you have a technology company. But every time you make a change, you know, something else affects it. So the save process it was not functioning properly for a short period of time. If you go and try and change it now, it'll work.
Woohoo! And I think I unmuted Rick there. Rick, are you with us, brother?
Yeah, I'm with you. How you doing? Hello, David. How are you?
Hey, Rick.
I'm doing wonderful. You know, I didn't want to say anything, but I'm so excited I can't hardly stand it. You know, I want to give everybody a challenge here. I'm gonna personally put 100 people in this business in the next 60 days. And I've been sitting here. Somebody said to me the other day, they said, "Boy, there's no residual in this thing." Let me tell you something, folks. All I want to do is see everybody that I personally bring to this company cycle. If that's not residual, I don't know what. And every time they cycle, David, and they redonate again, I get paid again. Now tell me that's not residual.
That's right.
That's super technology. That's a Mobius loop that nobody else has.
And, you know, a guy called me from Seattle, Washington. I put him in the business. The biggest mistake I made when I started is I started telling people that I put somebody in and they hadn't done nothing and they made money. Let me tell you something, folks. I got a guy in Seattle, Washington. He called me the other day. He said, "I'm ready to put a lot of people in, but I ain't seen no spillover." I said, "Why don't you do some spilling over yourself? Why don't you bring somebody in?" The biggest problem we got here, if everybody will go out and get 2 people.
That's right.
And help those 2 people get 2 people, that person will cycle. And see, I've got the numbers right here in front of me. I'm going to put 100 people in personally, starting tomorrow in 60 days, and I've done the numbers on it. If it works the way it works at my church, out of 100 people, David, 20 is going to do something. Okay? If those
well,
20
actually, let me help you with a couple of things there, right? So, because it's not the numbers that make this the greatest system available to us all right now. It's the system. If you start with a bad system, you're going to get bad results. You start with a good system, you're going to get good results. You start with a great system, you're going to get great results. So the super technology that we call the Mobius loop, this is going to freak everybody out. You heard me a few moments ago saying there's no saturation point, and there isn't, because of that Mobius loop, right? And if you look up Mobius loop, you'll see that it'll just keep circling from now until infinity, right? There's no beginning, there's no end. Now, what Rick wants to do, and many people are doing the exact same thing, and this is going to be a multi. So what Rick is doing is he said he's challenging himself, and he says he's going to help 100 people during the course of the next. Or sorry, he's going to help. Yeah, he's going to help 100 people during the course of the next 60 days. Now think about that for a moment. Some of us are in, we've had sales jobs in the past. You know, if you're selling shoes, you're selling vacuum cleaners, you're selling dictionaries, you're selling something. If you only made 1 sale a day, you're going to be broke, right? Except in this system, all Rick is saying is that he's going to make 1.5 sales a day. He's going to help 1.5 people per day. That's not out of the question. So all of you that are saying, "Oh, that's impossible," think about it again, because it's not impossible. Now, here's the thing that I'm going to tell you that's going to freak you right out and everybody out, right? This super technology, this Mobius loop, if you got involved today and you invited 2 people tomorrow, that means in 2 days you will have invited 2 people. Today you got involved, by tomorrow you invite 2 people. And let's say that the 2 people that you've invited, they do the exact same thing. And they say, "Well, I'm going to help 2 people in my first day," right? So that's 4 days. It means that you would have invited 2 people, they would have invited 2 people, and that would have completed your wheelhouse. When that happens, another wheelhouse automatically opens up for you to receive again. Now, if you sat back and you put your head back, and you're drinking your coffee, and this one happens to be from Starbucks, you're drinking Starbucks. Remember, I said Starbucks here. I want my royalties. You put your head back. Because of this super technology, those people that you've invited, they're doing the exact same thing as you. So you're not helping anybody else right now, but those people go out and help 2 people. Do you know that on day 6, the first 2 people that you invited, they're coming back in under you? So what does that do? That means that you're receiving 2 more donations, but you haven't done any extra effort.
Right.
And then on day 8, those other people, they go out and they invite their 2 people each. That means that those 4 people that are on your second level, they come back in under you. That's 4 more donations that you're going to receive, and you haven't done any extra effort. And that's going to open up another wheelhouse for you. If that process continues, you will cycle every 2 days because you invited 2 people and you taught duplication. If that duplication process continued, that is what freaks people out. And that's what's freaking people out, because they said, listen, I put this effort in last week, right? And then I took the family and I went on vacation for the weekend. But, while I was on vacation, I kept getting all these emails saying donation received. I thought maybe it was a mistake. But then they go in their back office and they see that it wasn't a mistake. And that's the Mobius loop. That's what makes what we're doing so special. And that's why so many people are receiving. So when you least expect it, all of a sudden you could receive 25 individual donations. And then all of a sudden you can go a week and you don't get any donations. But then all of a sudden you get busy with it, your team gets busy with it, and you get another 5 donations. So it's a really remarkable system. And I don't like to call it a residual, but what it does have is it does have a renewable donation, because every time somebody comes into your wheelhouse, you receive another donation. And there's 4 ways that can happen. It can happen from help from your team above. Some people call it spillover. They come into your matrix and into your wheelhouse and you receive a donation. You didn't do any effort for that, but you get a donation from it. It can come from help from below. That person that fell into your wheelhouse, they invite somebody and boom, you get another donation. You haven't done anything from it. That's help from above, help from below. The other way, and the most practical way, is, think about all of the people that you want to help. We all know people that want or need money for something. Help those people, because when you decide to help them, boom, another donation goes to you. And then when they help their friends, again, another donation goes to you. So there's only 6 positions, but there's 4 ways in which you can receive. So it's freaking people out. And that's why it's just going around and around and around, and why all of you have smiles on your faces. And the good thing about that is that, and folks, you really need to understand this, is that it's not just 1 or 2% or 3 or 4% of the people that are receiving donations. It's almost 70% of the people. And it's because of the system. It's because we are a cooperative crowdfunding system, and it's just a beautiful thing.
Well, we could go on and on.
I know.
I do know that there were some changes since we've been on board. We originally, when we got in, you had all the matrices open at the point where people join, and now we just have the 250, 500, and 1,000. Could you just explain why? And I totally understand why we changed it, but could you share that with everyone?
Yeah, for sure. Because we all have an urge to get to that goal line faster. And if you see a faster route to get to that goal line, sometimes people take it, and it may not be a good thing for them. And, it's like, how I usually explain it. I talk about that bag of chocolate chip cookies, right? Like, I swear I'm always only going to eat 3 of those chocolate chip cookies, even though I got the whole bag in front of me, but I still eat the whole bag of chocolate chip cookies. So it's the same thing with the donation levels, right? If you only have the wherewithal right now to send a donation of $250, don't click the 250, the 500, the 1,000, 2,000, and 4,000, because the system is going to be there for a long time.
Sorry, I can't help it. Sorry about that.
It was a great catch. Like I said, I got it right over there.
Sorry about that.
So, sometimes people's eyes were just bigger than their pocketbooks. So we wanted to help people and prevent them from making mistakes.
Yeah. And then,
That's honorable.
yes, very, very, very honorable. And like you said, people can still, once they do that, they join the 250, they join the 500 and the 1,000, and once their donations are confirmed, they can, in their back office, it just says you're eligible to upgrade, so they can upgrade.
Which brings to another really, really important point, right? Is that no one's holding on to your donations and forcing you to the next level and the next level and so on and so on and so forth. You can stay on the 250 level forever, or you can cycle once and then cancel your position. So everything is totally up to you. You only move up to those other levels if you want to, because you want to get to your fundraising goals quicker. But no one's forcing you to do that.
And I did see John Van Derzen jump in from Canada. I know I don't want to steal all the thunder from just the U.S., but John, he may have just left. I'm not sure. But
no, I'm trying to unmute him right now.
Okay, well, if you can unmute him, and then also, I don't know if Rick had any more. I don't want to steal your thunder, Rick. I know you're a huge name in this, not the crowdfunding industry, but you just.
He knows how to give and share.
He knows how to help people, and I didn't want to interrupt him or cut him off, so I didn't know if he had anything else he wanted to say or interject.
Hey, Bill, you got John here from Canada. Hey, David. Hey, everybody. Great to be on here. David, fantastic call to really lay out, the compliance and all facets of this. It's just amazing we can jump on this call. I had a few people asking me a question. I know on the sign-up form, we now see a box called token, and I was just wondering, I know it's to facilitate certain countries, certain groups of people. If you could just elaborate on that just while we got everybody on the call so they understand what it is and how they can use it, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. A lot of the countries don't have credit cards. They like China, for example, they use their Union Pay card or their Alipay card or their WeChat system to buy things online. So they don't, for the most part, they don't have credit cards. So what that does is that gives us the ability to be able to pre-buy the $29 software fee. And you just give, we call them tokens, and then you just give one of those tokens to somebody who doesn't have a credit card. And that means you don't have to keep using your credit card over and over again. So you just give them one of those tokens so that they can enter the system.
Perfect. How do you get those tokens, David? Just so everybody knows, how would you buy them?
Right now we don't. Right now I've made them available to a few people, but within the next couple of days there'll be a link that everybody will be able to just go in and say, okay, I want to buy 5 tokens to help my friends out, or I want to buy 20 tokens to help my friends out. So there'll be a link in the back office. It's just not there yet.
Okay, excellent. And a beautiful touchdown by the Packers just now as well.
Yeah. But we do have the tokens, and people are using the tokens right now, though.
Super. Thanks, David.
All right.
Hey, guys. I know it's running late, so you guys take it away. I don't want to take up everybody's time, but we wanted to maximize the opportunity to speak with you, and we appreciate it so much that you're willing to jump on these calls that we every now and then when you can.
You got to be careful about inviting me on these calls, because I get on the call to say maybe 5 minutes worth of stuff, right? When I get on these things, because we're having so much fun, I just keep talking and talking and talking, but. We want to let everyone get back to their Packers games or their games that they got going on, or their Sunday dinner.
There is one thing. I did see a request. There are some people, these calls that we do, we always show the 8-minute video, because, we try and get our people, that are sharing this with others to show the 8-minute video and get them interested to come on the call. But we know some people don't, take that time to do it. So, I know you don't have to stay for it, but if you guys want to go ahead and play that video for the people that are on the call, feel free to do so.
Before you do that, I'm going to say good night for now. Thank you. I hope that the questions were great, and I hope that it's helping everybody to further their end desire to get their funding goals reached. 50/50 crowdfunding is something that works for everybody. So watch the video that they're going to show you now. You still have some questions, read the FAQs, but make a decision based on your own due diligence. You don't have to believe anything that I say. You don't have to believe anything that William says or Kenny says. Make your decision based on how you feel about the system. And, if you want to join us, we're here to help you.
And before you sign off, in your words, how long is this system going to be around?
We'll be dusting. It'll still be going.
That's awesome.
All right. Good night,
thank
everybody.
you. Thank you so much, David. It's a rare opportunity to have the CEO and the owner on with a group just randomly coming on. It's just really a rare opportunity, and we really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much. We
All right.
enjoyed
Good night, everybody, and thank you. And
God bless you.
And upwards, and can we wake everybody's dreams up? That's what we want to do.
Thanks, David.
Awesome.
All right, bye for now.
All right, for you guys, we are going to show the video, and let me go ahead and I'm going to share my screen right now. This is my first time running it back here, so I don't know if you could see the speaker over to the right or not, or if you're just looking at my full screen. We'll fix that tomorrow. Before we show that, we're going to go back here. Go ahead and get your cameras out and take a picture of this right now and text it to 3 friends tomorrow and see what happens. This is such a phenomenal program. You definitely want to share this with everyone. And we're going to go ahead and show the movie. I'm going to need some information, though. Maybe Michael, if they can't hear, if you guys can't hear it, let me know. But we're going to do our best. So we're going to just go ahead and start it. Okay. Okay. Great. Awesome. Okay, I'm getting text that you guys cannot hear this, and what I'm gonna ask you to do is, if you notice this URL up here, don't worry about that. That is the platform that I built this little landing page, and it is what you want to go to is googlethistoday.com. There's 2 videos here. There's a company video, and then a webinar that was done on the 27th. And David Rosen is on this. And then we also have the Zoom Live, the 50/50 Zoom Live. And also, if you can't get in because your cash is still taken back to the old room, which I understand had several people in that old room today, you could go to www.zoom.us. Meeting ID is 580-317-0615, and that'll take you into this room. You have to clear your cache. That's what's happening for those people that can't get in. So if somebody on your team says, hey, I can't get in, I'm in a dead room, nobody's there but a few people, that's why the cache is seeing this 50/50 Zoom.live and sending it to the old URL. So this is, we've redirected it to this URL meeting room. Your cache is still sending you over to the old one. And if you want daily updates and daily webinar reminders and text reminders, this is powerful right here, 5050updates.com. Just go in there, put your information in, and you'll start getting daily updates. It has been great having everybody. A blessing to have David Rosen on the call today. And let me stop sharing that screen, get you back over here. We got John the Wiser. I don't know how John came up, but it's okay. It is an honor having everybody. It's an honor serving you guys. And we are here to help you succeed. This is a phenomenal program. I've never seen anything like this. I've been in the industry for 15 years, and I'm seeing people that are hey John, how are you? But you guys have a great night. We are ending this call, and we'll see you tomorrow at either the 3 p.m. call or the 9 p.m. call. You guys have a great day, and God bless y'all. I'm going to unmute everybody if I can do that. We still have 50 people in the room. It's amazing. I think I lost. Ah, there we go. All right, everybody's unmuted. We're on the way. Good night, everybody.
Birth control.
Good night.
Not saying, hey, go out.